bá mi fọ̀rọ̀ kan o. Èyí ká mi láyà mo wí o. Tí mo fẹ́ràn kò yé mi rárá o. Irú ìfẹ́ yìí o. Jọ̀wọ́ mo fẹ́ máa wọ bí rẹ o. Jọ̀wọ́ mo fẹ́ máa wọ rẹ o. Ọmọ oníwà tuntun yìí o. Mo fẹ́ mọ lé rẹ o. Kí n máa bá ẹ lọ. Máa bá ẹ lọ. Máa bá ẹ lọ. Máa bá ẹ lọ. Oh, what I'm feeling, carry me along. I can't help myself. Baby, I wanna love you. I wanna be with you. Good morning, sir. I wanna love my feeling. Baby, I wanna love you. Na, na, na. How are you today? You are listening to Beautiful Nubia, one of the greatest out of Nigeria. Mo fẹ́ máa wọ òbí rẹ o. Wọ́n ọ̀rẹ́ rẹ o. Kí n máa bá ẹ lọ. Máa bá ẹ lọ. Máa bá ẹ lọ. Máa bá ẹ lọ. Oh, what I'm feeling, carry me up. I can't advise. Baby, I wanna love you. I wanna be with you. I wanna love you. Express myself. Wanna be with you. Yeah. Okay, you're listening to the music of Beautiful Nubia. That's one of the nation's finest, just come out of Nigeria. Okay, good morning, everyone, and this is PFthinks. This is episode, I think we're on episode 74, right there about. Okay, and this is live from Praise 4 International Studios, Lagos, Nigeria. How are you today? Good morning, everyone. If you are just joining us, you will know we've been doing this for about 74 days, and it's been amazing. Thank you so much to all of you, my 3 a.m. club members, for always joining me 3 a.m. If you live in Nigeria, and then if you live in Canada, maybe it's about 10 a.m., 10 p.m. there about with you, America, about the same time. I want to say thank you so much for always joining me. And it's okay, I can see my wife is joining on Instagram. Hey baby, what's up? I just played a Beautiful Nubia. Okay, we used to dance that song before we got married. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. So today we're looking at another common mistake married men make, which is the mistake number 4. So far we've looked at 3 mistakes, and if you missed out, you can check our previous episodes on my YouTube channel. You can get in there. And and my wife is waving. Babe, don't distract me this morning. Okay, so you can get on my YouTube channel and subscribe, and avail yourself of the previous episodes of PFthinks, because after some time it will no longer be available for free. Okay, so common mistakes married men make. The 4th mistake is insecurity. Insecurity. Now, a lot of us, and it's not just on the sides of men, is also on the side of women, right? A lot of wives are insecure the same way a lot of husbands are insecure. But When you are insecure, I mean, have you seen a man who says his wife should not go to school? Have you seen a man who says his wife cannot go for master's degree or cannot go for another course, simply because he's afraid that he's going to lose control if that woman develops herself? I have seen men who do not believe that their wife should be richer than them. I mean, all my dream is for my wife to be richer than me. I've seen men who do not believe that because they think, they are so afraid that, hey, if she's richer, they're going to lose control over her. Now, if you are afraid of what someone is capable of becoming, and because of that, you stifle their potential, it's a symptom of weakness and it's insecurity. Now, insecurity I have defined as an offshoot of unhealthy self-esteem, right? Because when people talk about insecurity, it's actually one of the symptoms of low self-esteem, right? Insecurity is an offshoot of unhealthy self-esteem, and it's at its root in one's inability to trust others, or the quest to be in control of someone or something, such that you ultimately lose control. That when you are insecure, it's because you cannot trust others, and in some several cases you can't trust yourself, right? So oftentimes what you are going to do, or what you're capable of doing, is what you project on others, right? So you try to control everyone or control everything, such that ultimately you lose control. Insecurity is our quest to control what is non-existent or what is beyond you. This usually gives rise to a mentally initiated negative opinion and self-generated problem, which results into breach of trust, jealousy, and suspicion. Insecure people are the greatest movie makers in the world, because the problem is just that they write the script in their head, they shoot the movie, they go to location, they do the casting, they produce the movie, but they are the only ones who watch it because the movie is not real. It's not in the cinema. It exists in the cinema of their mind, where if they have a spouse who has female followers or who have male followers, I'm sorry, we're dealing with married men, who has a male followers, in their mind, they shoot a movie. Their wife is already dating the boss. Their wife is already going to bed with the boss. Their wife is already being, given money to by the boss. And before you know it, they have damaged their relationship, and they begin to reel out rules and regulation. Rule number one: I don't want to see you with that man. Rule number two: I don't want to see you with that. It's a wrong way to live. It's a disempowering way to live when you begin to give rules and regulation to an adult of who they should talk to, who they should not talk to, but nobody's giving you rules and regulation about who you should talk to, who you should not talk to. So you see a lot of men whose wives are extroverts. They are a lot insecure because they don't trust themselves. So since the same way they don't trust the capacity of their wives to be able to withstand temptation or withstand pressure. Let me tell you this: if your wife is beautiful, men will make passes at her, right? But it's our responsibility to say no to their proposal. Proposals will consistently come, right? But if she's disciplined enough, she will say no to them. But to stifle the potential because of what you're afraid of, which may never even come true, it's wickedness, and it's destructive to the human potential. Now, you need to understand some facts about insecurity. Insecure people, one, find it difficult to trust others and can't share what they have with others. So an insecure husband cannot share limelight with his wife. An insecure husband is afraid of the prominence, the greatness of his wife. So you will hear them say, my wife must be seen, must not be heard. So they do not give platforms, they do not give expression to the potential of their wives. They do not want their wives to stand, shoulder to shoulder with them, or to stand on a higher pedestal. They cannot stand it that she's more popular than them, right? They're going to keep her in hiding and damage her self-esteem. Number two, insecure people choke others by seeking to be their lord, and we do everything to retain that control, especially economic power. So when you hear a man say that I am either the lord of all or the lord of nothing, now that's an insecure person, right? So they seek to control. They do everything to control their spouses. They choke them. They almost for everything you need to do, you need to make a requisition to them, right? So they will choke you in a way that they will destroy your self-esteem, that you will look at yourself and you do not exist anymore, because they will use their mouth to destroy what is left in you. And it's a tactic, right? Because the more disempowered you are, the more empowered they are. The smaller you are, the greater they become. They do not believe that everyone can be great and we can all be great together. They believe their own greatness is dependent on the smallness of other people. Now, insecurity manifests across board. You see it in the religious space, when you know this person is good, but because you are afraid that if you give a platform to this person, others will follow them. So because of that, you deprive people of the greatest teaching, or the greatest blessing they can receive from the person, right? And you go and start teaching something you don't understand. Instead of giving platform to the person who can deliver, you withhold platform, thereby withholding the best of teaching from your people, because you are afraid that you will lose your crowd. Now, that is insecurity. So insecurity can sometimes manifest as spiritual discipline, or religious discipline. It can manifest as I'm training you. What training are you giving to people that stops you from giving them platform, when they have been around you for 7 years, right? And you begin to hear things like, if you appear before your time, you disappear before your time. Who determine your own appearance? Who determine the time anybody appears, right? Will God have a problem with you, with someone who becomes a billionaire at 18? God doesn't have any problem at all, right? But those are the things you find within the religious space and in a lot of homes, right? Where you say, you know what, my wife, I'm training you. I want my wife to be out there. I want her to become the best she can ever be, right? So insecure people can't stand the competence of the object they seek to hold down. So they would ensure that you do not get the education, you do not get the exposure, you do not go for the meetings that can improve you, right? Because they cannot stand it. They know that the more knowledgeable you are, the more they are able to hold you down. Insecure people can't stand the competence of their wives. So they would rather have their wives babysit. They will slap that narrative that ensures that she's a babysitter, she's a nanny, or she's a cook, right? And they will say, you know what, I can take care of you. Now, why would you say you can take care of another human being when she has the capacity to generate income? Now, if it's a choice to stay at home, it's another ballgame entirely. But when she says, I can do more, and you are saying you can't do more, then you are destroying a potential. Now, insecure people shoot a mental movie that doesn't exist. They do the casting and the production, yet market the same to themselves. They are the only ones shooting the movie. They are the only ones going to location. They are holding the camera. They are the producer, director, the cameraman. They are also the cast in the movie, right? They shoot a movie that doesn't exist, and they convince themselves that that movie exists. One of the movies they shoot is that if my wife is richer, she will no longer respect me. In fact, insecure people, when they lose their jobs and their wife become breadwinner, or their wife is the one bringing in the money, right? Every word she says, they begin to throw tantrums, because in their mind, the woman is disrespecting them, even when she's not disrespecting them. Now, when their wives ask them questions that human beings should ask, they feel insulted. They feel she doesn't have the right to question them. That is insecurity. Now, insecure people hate being tracked, yet they track everyone else in their territory. So they want to know where their wife is per time, where their wife is going, who their wife is talking to. They snoop on their wife's phone. That is insecurity. I mean, my life is too busy to begin to check my wife's phone. My life is too busy to begin to track who is he talking to, who is talking to her. Is there a guy? No. It's a waste of life, a waste of space, a waste of your time. Maybe you don't have enough jobs on your hand. Get enough things to do. But when you begin to track other people, but you don't want to be tracked, that's a symptom of insecurity. The greatest fear of insecure people is the greatness of others, or the expression of others, because they can't stand it. Insecure people only live within themselves, within the government of the self, by the self, and for the self-autocracy. It's all about them. The world must exist around them. It cannot exist around someone else. Every other person must defer to them, serve them, and live for them, right? So they would rather kill their wives for them to live. Now, I say that marriage is not about someone else dying for someone else to live. If there's someone who must die, it must be the husband, right? For the others to live, which means dying is not physical, it's not literal. It's about sacrificing yourself for others, right? It should be you. But you see, you don't even have to get to that level. You can eat your cake and have it. Everyone can win within the family if you understand family systems engineering template. Now, oftentimes, a man battling with insecurity sees himself as the capital or the center of the world. He unconsciously turns himself into a god that must be worshipped by his wife and feel other people's heartbeats should stop because he's around. That's an insecure man, right? If he believes that he's the capital of the world, so he holds the remote control of the family in his hand and he begins to press them as station. So he said, "You stay there, bring my food, do this. You know, I am your husband. I am the head of this family." When he comes home, the children are running around, because the lion of the tribe of the home has come. He feels and he says he's disciplined. Meanwhile, the children are afraid of him. You are not a father when your children run away when they see you, right? You are a deity. When you expect everyone to worship you, you are no longer a lover. If your wife looks at you and she cannot throw banter, throw jest, she cannot, chat with you, talk to you as a lover, then you have moved from, a husband, which is a groomer, into something else, right? It's better they start pouring libation and pouring oil on you and begin to worship you, because that is what you want. Insecure people seek worship against all else. Now, here are the things you need to understand if you are married as a man and you are battling with insecurity, because your insecurity has its history. There is something in your past that you have been deprived of, that you want to take away from life, which seeks for you to control others. It's either you have been controlled by your father, or you have been controlled by an authority figure in your life, or you have suffered so hard that you now feel that it's time for you to also be free and control other people. So you want to check if you are a man battling with insecurity, or if you are a woman battling with insecurity, to say, how were you groomed? How were you raised? Can you go back to your past and see if you were free to be yourself growing up, or your potential was stifled? Who was your father? The role models in your life, how did they treat their wives? Number two, what were you deprived of? Because oftentimes, insecure people, they have a deprivation in their life. They are mentally bankrupt or mentally deprived, right? Or morally deprived, or financially or physically deprived of something, right? That vacuum exists in them and it has not been filled. So it manifests as insecurity in the direction of their spouse. Their spouse becomes like someone who is in prison. The marital wedding ring becomes the anchor that keeps a potential bound. What is the emotional experience that is responsible for your lack of security, right? There is an emotional experience in your past. There's a pain somewhere, right? Maybe you had an ex-girlfriend that you are now using a pain to relate with your spouse. You need to go through healing. The last one there, what culture or religion do you reflect? Because many of us, our insecurity is a function of the teaching we've been subjected to by culture or in our religious space. So when you hear things like women should keep quiet, right? Or wives should only obey their spouses, all right? Or submit to their husband, but you forget that there's a verse before that says, submit one to another in the fear of God, right? So you would see it as is gender centric for someone to submit, but the other person should not submit. Meanwhile, husband and wife, in fact, human beings are supposed to submit one to another depending on who has demonstrated superior expertise or competence in a particular area. Now, it doesn't mean that you begin to create power tussle. It simply means mutual respect, where both of you understand your strength and your weakness, and you allow the person with strength to lead in the area of expertise. Yes, nobody's dragging headship with you. I've addressed that. You are the head of the family, but the head is not the smartest, it's not the richest, it's not the biggest. The head is simply a servant that is saddled with the responsibility to create an enabling environment where the potential of everyone can find expression. So, if you belong to a movement where one man wants to be worshipped by all in the religious space, who doesn't give expression to his associate, doesn't give expression to other people because he feels he's the only one who must do everything, then by default, a lot of men within that system will begin to practice the same system in their home. They become the general overseer of their family, but they will not take the image of Jesus. They will take the image of their Geo has manifested insecurity, but has hidden that insecurity within the space of religion, right? And so it's all about him, the same way it has to be all about you in marriage. So your wife is esteem is totally shattered because even though she has a voice, that voice has been silenced because you cannot stand to hear people praise her and against you, because you think something is wrong with you when people are not praising you. So when I see men who say that their wives must not be popular, more popular than them, I see men who are small-minded and men who are very weak, because one mark of your greatness is when your players or your products are greater than you. Now, here are tips to remember. One, your spouse is a human being with a life before meeting you. And the pact is not for her to die so that you can live. You need to always understand as a husband that your wife had a life before she met you. She's a human being before she met you. She has dreams, she has aspirations, she has a plan for her life, she has an image of who she wanted to become before she met you. And that image must not die. The pact you signed with her is not for her to die so that you can live. No, it's not for her to decrease so that you can increase. No way. It's for her to become the better version of herself. Number two, there are solutions in your spouse that insecurity can kill, thereby depriving the world of your fruit. So if you have the capacity of becoming a billionaire family, but you have stifled the potential of your wife, who life has ordained with power, with energy, with resourcefulness, and with solutions that can make the family a billionaire. It's like scoring an own goal against yourself. There are solutions in your spouse that if you don't give her confidence, if you don't push her out to express herself, it will be killed, and you will deprive the world of your fruits and deprive your family of the income that could have come if both of you are manifesting at optimum level. Number three, you must remember that depriving others, right, depriving others of becoming their best because of your insecurity is another form of suicide and murder. Depriving others of becoming their best because of your insecurity is another form of suicide or murder. So you will see a spouse who will tell the wife, don't take that role. So there is a role, let's say the ED of a company is open. The husband will say, you need to find another job. Don't take that ED. Why? Because as the ED, she will need to do a lot of traveling, which means she may not be able to cook for you, right? You don't see the need to learn how to cook or for you to hire a cook, right? So because of your belly, you will say, don't take that role, right? Because you are afraid that when she begins to manifest at the highest level, she will meet men you consider greater than yourself, and that would affect your self-esteem, right? You need to understand that when you deprive your spouse of becoming their best because of insecurity, is suicide and murder. You are the one committing suicide, but you are the one committing murder also. You murder their potential, right? But you commit suicide against yourself because your wife is an extension of you. You need to understand that our greatness is a testimonial to the greatness that resides in you. So you murder your greatness when you don't allow your wife express to the optimum capacity, right? But you also commit suicide because you have not allowed her manifest at the highest level. Number four, you need to remember that you become a slave trader when you can't point at how your spouse has become better because of you. If your spouse has become worse because she got married to you, you are a slave trader. What you operate is a slave camp, is a concentration camp where the potential of people die. You need to understand that she should become a better version of herself. She should have more confidence. You should push her out to express herself and become the best version of herself. Now, you multiply your success. Remember, you multiply your success if your spouse and kids are able to become the best version of themselves, right? That is how you measure yourself. Your role is to give them confidence. Your role is to give them the wings to fly. It's not to clip their wings, it's to give flight to their wings and even become the fly that they are flying across the globe while you are watching and you are clapping as the coach because your players are performing at the highest level. I was watching a match by Manchester United yesterday, And I noticed that the Manchester United coach sat all through. He was just hailing the players, clapping for them, and they won the match. That is coaching. You are supposed to stand by the sideline and watch your players express themselves on the field with the tactical formation you have provided, and they manifest at the highest level. The world will clap for your players, but they can't clap for the players without clapping for the coach, because a coach is only as good as his last result. Your wife is your result. Your children are your result. What kind of bridegroom are you? Now, you need to listen to this. The power of security neither resides in our ability to control things or people, nor in what we possess, because a man's life, as we know, doesn't consist in the abundance of what he has. Security is what is left when everything you own is taken away from you. Listen to this. Security is what is left when everything you own is taken away from you, right? So when we remove your money, we remove your status, we remove your title, what is left is security. If your life ends, if we take away your money, then you are insecure. If we take away your title and you become nothing, then you are very small. You are not secure, right? And one of the people who are close to me know that one of the things I hate the most is title. I can't stand it, right? So when people call me Pastor Praise, I detest it. I don't want title. I just want to be a normal human being, right? And people know that I love to stay in my house. I can stay in my house for 1 year and not go out, right? I just love staying there. So when it's my job that takes me out and make me speak and all this kind of thing. But you see, I love to just stay at home, maybe play with my family or whatever, right? So when we take away your title, we take away your bank account, we take away accolade, will you still be yourself as a human being? When the numbers of people follow you stop following you, will you still be yourself, or you begin to worry? So you see people go on social media, they post something and they are counting the number of likes. So they feel sad when people don't comment. Let me shock you. If nobody watches this broadcast, I am still going to continue. I did not start it because I want 1,000 people to join me 3 a.m. No, there is something I'm doing. There's a place I'm going. It was very clear from the beginning. So when we have 2 people online, 1 person online, nobody online, I am least worried at all. The need to be loved or liked has been taken away from me, right? And it's something we all need to work on and deal with, or else you will be destroyed by the accolades of men. Security is what is left when everything you own is taken away from you. It is our ability to honestly assess ourselves, accept ourselves, and celebrate other people without trying so hard to become them or take their place. The moment something happens for your neighbor, to your neighbor, that you desire, and you begin to feel bad that they have what you desire, then that is insecurity. Their success should make you excited, because every time you're excited about their success, you magnetize the same miracle into your life. Security is our ability to honestly assess ourselves. So as a husband or as a man, can you assess yourself today? How good are you? How acceptable are you to yourself, right? Can you accept yourself and celebrate other people without trying so hard to become them or take their place? Which is why not everyone can hold the mic. Some people are better at writing. Some people are better at supporting. As a matter of fact, your calling as a man can be to support your wife. Don't feel shy. Don't feel afraid. Don't feel something is wrong with you. Don't let society dictate to you how you should lead your life, right? Get into the kitchen. If your wife is busy, babysit, do all this kind of thing. They may call you house husband. It is their problem. You are keeping your home. They are not house husband. Maybe their family is disintegrated, right? Whatever works for your family or promotes the peace of your family is what you must do. If you can wash around this, wash around this. You can make pounded yam for her, make pounded yam for her. It is your family. She is your wife. Nothing should be held back in your quest to get the best out of her. So what are the things you need to do to overcome insecurity? Here are a few tips. Number 1, be the first to congratulate your wife on the new ideas or breakthroughs, because it's a family success, not ours alone, right? Be the first to congratulate her. In fact, push her into the new terrain. Push her into a new territory. Challenge her potential. When I'm talking to my wife, All I'm trying to do is to challenge the potential. You can be better. You can be richer. You can be greater. You can become better than me, greater than me, right? So be the first to congratulate her on the new ideas. Let me tell you, every time you make people better, you become better. That's how it works. You master something by teaching others. There is no gain in withholding things from your people that can benefit them or make them better. Number two, try to open up your deepest fears to your spouse. Learn to be vulnerable with your spouse at least. So if there are fears in your mind, express it to her. Let her know straight out, I'm not allowing you to take that course because I am afraid I'm going to lose you. Then she will assure you, you are my husband. You are paying for this class, or I'm even paying for myself. I am going nowhere. Right? That assurance will free you to allow her be herself. Number three, make it a point of duty to find out her deepest desire and discover if she's truly happy. You need to find out her deepest desires and discover if she's truly happy, because a lot of spouses are caged, they are bound, and you are not even aware. Now, next one, hand over family finance to her if you think she's more prudent financially, and empower her to take decisions in her area of competence. Allow your wife, allow your spouse express themselves in their area of competence, right? If it's leadership, let them lead. If it is finance, let them handle finance. Whatever they are good at, let them do, right? Because you are not an all-rounder, right? And you must be able to spot the talents in your team and give expression to those talents. Number five, practice advanced forgiveness with her. Advanced forgiveness means a heart that is willing to forgive before an offense is committed, right? Do not hold grudges. Do not keep things, in the past and skip harping on it. No. If they have made a mistake, you are fallible as well. You can make a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. So allow people make mistakes and learn from mistakes. Mistakes are nothing. Mistakes are feedback of what they have not mastered, right? Then you need to understand if there's someone around her that you are not comfortable with, right? Or there's someone in her life that makes you insecure, right? Why don't you buy the person a gift, right? As well as express your reservation as honestly as you can to your spouse with a view to discussing discovering the true position of things, right? You need to fact find. It's more ecological, more empowering to ask questions. Oh, I noticed you are closer to your siblings, right? And it makes me feel small, right? Can you balance that? Or I notice that you are getting closer to your boss. Hope all is well. Then whatever she says to you, believe it. That's better than shooting a movie that doesn't exist in your head and destroying your wife. Now, I will end today's broadcast by making a quote by Martin Luther King Jr., but I have paraphrased it and I've edited it a little bit to suit what I'm talking about today. And I would say it this way: if a man is called to be a bridegroom, he should groom his wife even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should groom his wife so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great husband who did his job well. I'll take that again. If a man is called to be a bridegroom, he should groom his wife even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should groom his wife so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great husband who did his job so well. That should be your testimony. You should do it so well. Groom your spouse. Give them the best of you. Find how you can push her to become the best version of herself. Do everything you can for them to express themselves at the highest level, for their esteem to be intact. Don't let them remain small because of your insecurity. You deal with your insecurity and greatness will come out of you. Your wife can become great. Your children can become great. But if their greatness, if your own greatness is dependent on their smallness, you are going to commit murder and suicide. And it's not just your spouse. Let people around you become great in spite of you or through you. Let them become great. Give them platforms. Make them better. Push them and make it a point of duty to make everyone around you the best version of themselves. People around me know I can't stand mediocrity, right? So when I see people around me, I push them, I challenge them. They don't have to pay, right? We become great by making others great. You are richer when people around you are richer, right? But if everyone is poor and you are the rich person, something is wrong with you. That is one fundamental leadership flaw in Africa, and we need to kill it. The adage that an elephant must not blow at the same time with his children or with his wife is a wrong adage. We need to change it. An elephant and his wife can blow at the same time. The husband can blow treble, the wife can blow tenor, the children can blow alto and bass. Or tenor and bass, and a beautiful harmony is what emerges. Beautiful music is what emerges. We need to understand this and deal with our insecurity. And if you are a wife, you are the one who is insecure as well, please deal with your own insecurity as well and stop shooting a movie that doesn't exist. You see, life is very easy. Life is also short. We all will not be here in 150 years, right? We have a lifespan and we don't have all it takes. We should not destroy our life by spending every day in sadness, trying to control other people. We should maximize every day, live a good life, be happy, take away things that upset us, promote things that empower us and makes us promote the best interest of everyone. We can make our lives better, maximize every day. We can make love every day and make others better every day. That is the key to successful living. If a man is called to be a bridegroom, he should groom his wife, even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should groom his wife so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great husband who did his job well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back tomorrow, God's willing, and we will be dealing with another mistake married men make. Till then, keep loving, keep living, and know that I respect and I honor you all. Enjoy your day. Oh my Lord, Vagitele lawa. Eba mi sọ fún sísìn yẹn, oh my Lord. Thank you guys, thank you for joining me. Baby jọ̀wọ́, oh my Lord. Ọmọdé ń ṣe, baby mi dá. Kò gbé mi sáyà. Ó wá fífẹ́ tútù sọ́kàn mi o. Kò gbé mi sáyà.